dream of the career you love. But the reality is that you have more nights like this. That is exactly what keeps you from doing what you want to do in life. So let's look at those three main fears that hold us back. Your finances are not a trivial matter. They become infinitely more complex the more responsibilities you accumulate. So you have a wife and kids and a mortgage. You can't just run away from them. And so we build our little prison. And why not? Because we want to enjoy life. We want to live life to the fullest. The problem comes when that prison becomes a life sentence for your job. How do we solve that? Question number one. Is the amount that you're paid right now a fair compensation for your unhappiness? The answer might very well be yes, which also means that you forfeit the right to complain because that's what you get, so that's your decision. And obviously you also know what the answer is if you are on the opposite end of the scale. But I'm also aware that finances are not a trivial matter, so we have to look at a couple of other questions. Before we get there, here on this channel, I do talk about creating courageous careers. I talk about building up the courage to create a life that you desire. And if that's for you, then welcome to the community. And as a new member, please do subscribe, not only for me or you that you don't miss anything, but it also helps spreading the message further. So I'd really like that. The second question is, what do you truly need to cover your expenses? And I'm not talking about the life that you're living right now. I'm not talking about the life that you build up. I'm talking about true necessity. When you were 20 years old, you didn't really think about your job selection based on the future mortgage that you want to have or the type of car you want to drive. Maybe some do, but most go by preference and what's absolutely necessary. And maybe it's time for you to do the same again. The third question I want to ask you is for the case that it is completely unfeasible for you to quit your job right now. Are you accepting that the next 18 months can be incredibly uncomfortable? Because if you can, then go out there and start creating that work that you're meant to do. Start going out there to create the life that you truly desire. The next 18 months will be very uncomfortable, but you will also end up in a place where ultimately you can afford to quit your job. Ultimately, you can focus on what is necessary and then again, leave that little prison that we built ourselves over the past 5, 10, 15 years and focus on what we truly desire in life. Even if you're the most independent person that lives on this earth, even if you don't care at all what other people think of you, there is still something inherent about us that wants to be accepted by the people around us. And that's for a very good reason, because literally your life depends on it. And no, I'm not talking about the old story about the hunters that have to go out and bring food and sustain and have to live in a community. I'm talking about you today in very practical terms. I assume that you can't raise yourself as a baby, or build with your own hands a house, or sew everything that you need to sustain yourself and eat, or create the electricity that you need to power the phone that you watch this video on right now. We are an interdependent species, and it only becomes a problem when we stop contributing to our society in the best possible way. This is what might be happening here, and in order for us to shift that thinking, let me confront you with two facts. Imagine you're going to a party. You meet new people there, you talk about what they do in life, and then you go back into your car, you talk to your spouse, maybe you talk to your children. And you talk about them for a few minutes. How long does it take you to shift your talks towards yourself and your own problems and your own life? If I'm right, then probably not very long. We are very concerned about what other people think of us, but we are not really thinking about them that much. And it's fair to say that they won't think about you much either. And even worse than that, they will operate on a script. If you went to law school and became a lawyer and then have a 6-figure salary, you are successful and they have a lot of praise for you. And if you are a school dropout and figure things out and create an online shop or an eBay shop, and then you make 6 figures or 7 figures or even more, you're still the school dropout. Think about that. The second fact is this. What is a truly objective measure whether something that you want to do is worth doing? Is it creating value for somebody? And are you good at it? Because if you're not good at it, then the value that you provide is mediocre at best. But if you do something that provides value and you are good at it, it's worth doing. Independent of the script that other people have in their head of whether something's worthwhile doing or not, because you're pursuing something that you truly enjoy. You're building a courageous career. You're building a life, a courage in life to pursue what you desire. And that is worth doing. You may also think, maybe I'm losing friends based on the change that I'm about to do. And that could be the case, because people don't like change and they want to remember you always the same way that they always knew you. And so you might lose them. But if it's true that you provide value and that you are reasonably good at it, then you're creating a new community, just like we do here on this channel. And if that's the case, then not only do you create a community, you create friends that have the same values as you. And that is priceless. The third thing that can hold us firmly back is a fear of failure, but not the type of failure where we think we can't succeed in something that we set our sights on. It's more the thought that despite all the changes, despite transforming ourselves, we will still end up in a place where we are unhappy. Maybe it's even based on your personal experience. Maybe you've gone through a transformation, things didn't end up exactly where you thought they would, and you were left feeling unhappy. So what are we going to do about that? Again, let me leave you with 2 thoughts on this. The first one is based on a video that I've seen about people aged 5 years to 85 years. And they put out on camera what their biggest regrets in life were. And quite interestingly, across all the age groups, there was a common theme. Everybody was more regretful about the things that they hadn't done in life, rather than the things that they did do and maybe failed at. And that's a learning point that we can take for ourselves as well. The second thing I wanted to mention is more of a warning. It happened to me as well. We often mentally stay in the old place. We think of the good old times. We think of the things that we had in our old careers. And so rather than fully engaging in this new life that we are creating now, half of our mind is still in the past. And that is something to avoid unhappiness in the future that you have to give up. Now, if you do get value out of this video, do give it a thumbs up. I would like that. It does help the channel a ton. And also, I would be interested in what you are afraid of when quitting your job. Let me know in the comment section below. Maybe we can discuss one of these things later in another video. I will see you over there. Take care.